If there's one thing that really pisses me off, it's when billionaires tell other people what they can or can't have. And that's exactly what Starbucks billionaire Howard Schultz, who is considering a 2020 run as an independent, is doing. So before I even get into this, I want to say that there is a very satisfying video of a heckler at a Howard Schultz event. So please stick around for that. But let's get to the story. So on CBS this morning, their morning show, Howard Schultz said this. He claimed that Kamala Harris's Medicare-For-All proposal is un-American. Now, first of all, I want to say that this is more of a issue with the headline, but this Medicare-For-All is not Kamala Harris's plan. It's Bernie Sanders' plan. Kamala Harris is a co-sponsor. And at a town hall on CNN last night, she did say that she supports Medicare-For-All and that she would be for getting rid of the entire private insurance system. So good on her for doing that. But I want to show you, since I can't show you this clip because CBS is very careful about copyright issues, but I will show you a very similar clip where he was also on The View this morning talking about the same thing.
Well, I just want to ask quickly, what are the Dems too left on, you think? What issues will conduct a bite?
I don't know Senator Harris, but listening to her last night say we should abolish the insurance industry as a way to go forward on health care, that alone would wipe out millions of jobs of Americans. And that is the kind of extreme policy that is not a policy that I agree with.
All right. There is a lot to go over here. So he calls Medicare for All an extreme policy. If it's so extreme, then why do the vast majority of Americans agree with it, including over 50% of Republicans? Everybody wants Medicare for all. Everybody that is educated or at least understands how broken the system is understands that a Medicare for all system would be much, much better. Yet he calls it extreme. Again, if it's so extreme, why do so many countries already have it? Why does my country of Canada have universal health care and we've never gone back? Why is it that there is not even one conservative party in our country that is trying to eliminate a universal healthcare system? If it's so extreme, so crazy, so detrimental to our economy, then why aren't the conservative parties going after it? Why aren't they getting rid of it? Because it's incredibly popular, because everyone loves it, because it's not extreme. It's actually it's humane, it's normal, it's moral. Now, he pretends here to care about the jobs. Oh, but how about those jobs in private health insurance? Oh, we're going to lose all those jobs. He doesn't give a fuck about these jobs. This is what he actually cares about. Howard Schultz blames Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez for his decision to run as independent, and it has to do with her plan to tax the rich. This is what billionaire CEO liberal Howard Schultz cares about. His taxes. He cares about having to pay higher taxes. This is why he is actually against Medicare for All. Because in a Medicare for All system, while the average person, the middle class and the poor will not be paying more through the taxes than they do to a private insurance system, most of you will be paying less, much less through your taxes than you would be paying to private insurance. But in the case of billionaires, they will be paying more than they currently pay to private insurance. And they don't want to have to do that. They don't want to have to pay for your health care, even though they can absolutely afford it. So this idea that he cares about jobs is just complete bullshit. Now, if you do care about these jobs, understand that there are plenty of industries that can take these people. Now, if you want to go to the very extreme and say, oh, okay, but people will definitely lose their jobs. Yeah, they likely will. But guess what? It's a value judgment. So do you care more about these private insurance jobs, which again have transferable skills to other private insurance industries? Or do you care more about the fact that 45,000 people a year die to a lack of access to healthcare? That's from a Harvard study. And that medical bankruptcies are the most common form of bankruptcy. These are real issues that people deal with every day. This is actually happening now. So the idea that we should keep certain industries because people may lose their jobs, these jobs, if the job does not benefit the vast majority of people, then why keep it? We are eliminating coal jobs because coal jobs are incredibly detrimental to your health and to the environment. So as a society, as any country, we evolve, we change. Certain industries, yes, they die off and then new ones come up. That's how society works. We don't keep old industries, old jobs because you may lose your job. Like, do we still make horse and carriages like we used to? No, because it was replaced by the car. So we evolve as a society and develop new industries, and old ones that we don't need anymore go away. That's how it works. But again, I mean, in Canada, we do. If you want to pay extra for some extra benefits in healthcare, you can do that. But all your necessities are taken care of in our universal healthcare system. So if you want to have a discussion about, hey, maybe private health insurance can be still kept in some way, sure, have that discussion. But as long as the healthcare that is offered to people under Medicare-For-All is everything that you need. Now, some other points I want to mention here. I mean, a lot of this I hope is obvious because I've said it a million times, but it's obvious to me because I live in this system. But when you eliminate private insurance, what you are doing is you are eliminating the profit motive. So under a universal healthcare system, there is no longer a profit motive. You don't have to call up your insurance company and try and convince them or bargain with them to cover your costs because everything is covered always. That's how it works. But under a private insurance system, they are essentially profit loss centers. They always try and make a profit off of whatever you are going through. To me, I don't understand how is that moral? How does that make any sense? How is it okay for private companies to try and make money off of sick people? To me, that doesn't make any sense. So, the whole system is backwards. And it's why all these other countries have moved on to universal systems and have stayed that way. Because people have realized once you moved on to a universal system, it is much better than a private insurance-based system. One more thing I want to mention. And I've mentioned this before, but it's worth mentioning here too. There was even a conservative study from George Mason University that looked into how much Medicare-For-All would cost. And they accidentally published results that showed over 10 years a Medicare-For-All system would save you $2 trillion. So even under a conservative think tank, a conservative study, it still shows you that Medicare-For-All saves money. Not that I even care about that. I mean, for me, it's about what is morally the right thing to do. But if you do care about what costs more, Medicare-For-All costs less than a private insurance-based system. And again, it should make sense because you take out the middleman. There's no longer a profit-making middleman. So this is part of the reason why it costs less over 10 years. Now, I want to show some, I have some more here, but I want to show some reactions. These are random reactions from people on Twitter that I just searched up Schultz and insurance because I wanted to see what people think. Because sometimes I think, hey, maybe I'm in the bubble. Maybe everyone loves their insurance company. And because I don't live in the US, I don't see that. So I looked up insurance and Schultz. And I suggest you do the same. Because pretty much all the results looked like this. Private health insurance is not working for people. They work for their shareholders and profit margins. Howard Schultz sounds like a Republican. This guy, Howard Schultz, really thinks people like their private insurance company, huh? Does Mr. Schultz really not understand the core principle of health insurance reform, that free healthcare will be paid for by taxes and the total cost to taxpayers will be lower than what we're paying now in taxes plus premiums? Or is he just pretending to not understand? So, again, most people, from what I saw online, I was impressed. Most people, again, this is just a random sample. Most people understand. They understand that private insurance screws them and that under a Medicare-For-All system, they don't have to deal with the profit-making middleman that is consistently trying to screw them every time they get sick or need surgery. Now, one question that has come up, because all Howard Schultz appears to be doing is talking shit about our democratic ideas, is what is Schultz actually offering? What does he have to actually offer people as policy ideas? Well, here's your answer. Howard Schultz writes an entire op-ed in USA Today about his run for president and doesn't include a single policy idea or proposal. This is the reality. Howard Schultz, again, the only reason he is running or potentially running as an independent is if the Democratic Party puts up a progressive, he doesn't want that progressive to win because he doesn't want to have to pay more in taxes. This guy is just a greedy prick. That is the only reason he is running. Now, Elizabeth Warren also had a great response to Howard Schultz and Michael Bloomberg. So she tweeted this out. Billionaires like Howard Schultz and Michael Bloomberg want to keep a rigged system in place that benefits only them and their buddies. And they plan to spend gobs of cash to try and buy the presidency to keep it that way. Not on my watch. So Elizabeth Warren has just been fantastic since all this Howard Schultz stuff has blown up. I'm liking her more and more as she announced her run. So she really is taking on powerful moneyed interests, and I think that's incredibly important if you want to win the Democratic nomination and eventually beat Donald Trump. So for me, it's Bernie or Warren, ultimately. But I don't want to talk too much about 2020. I want to show you this clip Howard Schultz was at an event with I don't even know what the hell this was. CNN was hosting it. I think CNN was hosting it. But look at this. Look at what happens. So this is what has to happen anytime Howard Schultz makes a public appearance.
And I wanted to clarify the word independent, which I view merely as a designation on the ballot. And
Don't help elect Trump, you egotistical billionaire. Go back to getting ratioed on Twitter. Go back to Davos with the other billionaire elite who think they know how to run the world. That's not what democracy needs.
All right, so apart from the boos from the Howard Schultz sheep in the background, that video was fantastic. This heckler, this is what should happen every time this guy makes a public appearance. Make him understand that he is not popular. Make him understand that nobody wants this. So this is the bubble these people live in. So Howard Schultz, the way he's trying to sell people on his potential independent run is that there are the Democrats that are so far left, which is just completely insane. It doesn't make any sense. But in his worldview, the Democratic Party is so far left. The Republican Party is so far to the right. And there's all this space in the middle that are independents who will vote for me. Now, yes, there are a lot of people who self-identify as independent, more so than either party. The idea that all of these people that self-identify as independent somehow align on the policy issues and at the same time also somehow align with your policy ideas, that all these independent people think that the wealthy shouldn't pay more in taxes, that all these people that are independents think that Medicare-For-All is a crazy extreme idea, is absolutely insane. A lot of these people that are independent because the Democratic Party has not spoken up for them. The Democratic Party, much like Republicans, answers to their donors. That's why a lot of people are independent. And if you don't believe me, just look up polling on the issues. Why is it that the vast majority of people support Medicare-For-All, even including a majority of Republicans? Why is it that the vast majority of people agree with raising taxes on the wealthy and multinational corporations? Why is it that the vast majority of Americans agree with getting money out of politics? These are all policy issues that Howard Schultz does not agree with. Yet he thinks that the majority of people in the country want to protect the wealthy. I mean, like, it's just so fucking stupid. This heckler was the best point he made is that Howard Schultz is an egotistical asshole. That's exactly what he is. Swear off all billionaires for 2020, especially this billionaire.